Okay, so let's get into this. We're talking about a story where the sparkle of a huge TV dance competition just smashed head-on into a massive online controversy. And believe me, it is a wild ride. So picture this. You've got this fan favorite couple, right? And they suddenly, shockingly have to leave the UK's biggest TV show, Strictly Come Dancing. But this wasn't just, an unlucky break. Oh no. This thing ignited an absolute firestorm of rumors and accusations, and they were all aimed at one of the show's biggest, brightest stars. And this one social media comment, this is pretty much where it all started. This comment, and honestly thousands just like it, were accusing professional dancer Dianne Buswell of faking her partner's injury. I mean, the theory was explosive, that this whole thing was an elaborate setup to get her off the show, all because she was pregnant. So to really understand how we even got here, we've got to go back and look at what actually happened. All right, section 1. Let's dig into what really went down on that dance floor. Okay, so the announcement comes pretty much out of nowhere, and fans are completely shocked. We're talking about Stefan Dennis, a truly iconic actor, being forced to leave the competition. And his professional partner? Well, it was none other than Dianne Buswell, who was literally the show's reigning champion. So you can see the stakes were already super high. And Stefan himself confirmed it. He put out this statement that leaves absolutely no room for doubt. He explained he'd torn his calf muscle, a pretty significant injury, and that leaving was absolutely not his choice. You can just feel the heartbreak in that, right? He was really hitting his stride and was just, completely gutted that his journey was over just like that. But here's the thing. For a lot of people, this simple, really unfortunate injury wasn't the real story. For this, let's call it a very vocal corner of the internet, the focus immediately snapped over to Dianne. Specifically, to her personal journey this season. A journey that was already making headlines and was already under some pretty intense scrutiny. So to really get why this conspiracy theory took off, you first have to understand the incredible pressure Dianne Buswell was already under this year. I mean, just look at this timeline. Her career has been on this incredible upward swing. She met her partner Joe Sugg on this very show. She won the whole thing just last year. She even nabbed a prestigious BAFTA award. And then, the big news. She announced she was expecting. So her decision to compete while pregnant? Yeah, that was a massive, massive talking point from the second the show started. And here's the thing that puts it all into perspective. In the show's entire 23-season history, no professional dancer had ever competed while pregnant. Ever. So while a lot of people were celebrating this as a totally groundbreaking moment, it also, unfortunately, painted a huge target on her back for online critics, right from week 1. Right, so the backlash begins. And believe me, this started long before her partner ever got injured. I mean, from the very first moment she stepped onto that dance floor this season, Dianne was facing this wave of online negativity.
It's like there were two completely different stories happening at the same time. You had the public story on the show, where she was being celebrated. Her co-stars even threw her a surprise baby shower live on air. But then there was the online story, and that was a much, much darker conversation that was starting to bubble up.
And check this out. This comment was posted a full month before Stefan even got injured. That just goes to show you that this undercurrent of criticism, this really outdated idea that a pregnant woman has no business dancing on TV, it was already there. It was already pretty well established. But Dianne wasn't just going to sit there and take it. Nope. She pushed back on these comments pretty early on, basically saying, I can't believe we're still talking about this in 2025. So you can see, she was already on the defensive. It was kind of setting the stage for the much bigger fight that was just around the corner. Okay, so fast forward. This setup conspiracy theory absolutely explodes after Stefan has to leave the show. And at this point, you can just tell Dianne decided she'd had enough. She was done. So what does she do? She goes straight to her Instagram, and she starts reposting screenshots of these crazy conspiracy theories for all of her followers to see. She didn't try to hide from it, not at all. She put it right out there, front and center. And this right here is where she basically drew a line in the sand. You know that old advice, just ignore the trolls? Well, she challenged that head on. She made it crystal clear that she felt like she had to speak up against the harassment she was getting. And it wasn't just about her either. She was furiously defending her injured partner, Stefan. She was asking people to please just respect how gutted he was and to stop spreading these completely baseless rumors. She was shutting the whole thing down, period.
All right, so to really get why people are so invested in Diane's story, both the good parts and the bad, you've got to remember that for her, this isn't just a TV show. Strictly is, well, it's deeply personal.
I mean, her entire family life literally started on the show. She met her partner, the massive YouTuber Joe Sugg, when they were paired up way back in 2018. They danced all the way to the final together, and now, all these years later, they're expecting their first baby. Think about that. The very same dance floor where she was getting all this criticism is the exact place where her family began. And this quote, this is from her partner Joe, right after they were in the final together back in 2018. It just brings the whole thing full circle, doesn't it? It really drives home the huge personal stakes involved here, and it shows why all this public scrutiny, it's so much more than just celebrity gossip for them.
So in the end, Dianne Buswell's story really became something way bigger than just a dance show scandal. It turned into this powerful, very public moment that kind of forces us all to ask some pretty uncomfortable questions. Like, how do we view and judge and treat working women, especially when they're in the public eye? And the biggest question of all, in 2025, why are we still having these conversations?